Hey, 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 beautiful souls. Happy solstice. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to go and get it. I'm going to have to go and get it. I don't want to start the stream over again, but I can't believe I started it. There's two things that I wanted to do before I started tonight's live. I feel like I guess I was really excited to connect with all of you. So just give me 30 seconds. All right, we did that. One other thing. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the solstice season in the Northern Hemisphere. It is the summer season, and we are here to have some joy and fun because we're here for a good time, not a long time. And as the sun continues to shine throughout the seasons, we are working on the inner polish of our very own shine. The energy is much different than it was last night. And in fact, it's been only in the last, I'd say, few hours that it's been a noticeable shift in a positive direction. So let me do the last little thing that I wanted to do here. Okay, I'll use that one. Okay, so at 2:33, we're finally going to get started here. A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is lisalyle, and this is my channel here on YouTube. Jeez, what a week! What a week! So it is June 21st. It is the summer solstice. Last night, in fact, late last night at 10:42, the sun moved into Cancer. And as the sun moved into Cancer, the sun was greeted by Jupiter and Mercury, who have been there for the last 10 days or so, holding some space. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So at this time, I'd like to ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving and kind, with the intention of supporting our greatest and highest manifestation in this lifetime, full on soul work and expansion via our calm central nervous system. And that, my friends, my siblings, brothers and sisters of light, that is what we're here for. that is our mission statement. We are here to polish our inner shine and remember that we are each divine. And so with that being said, there's a few things here. First and foremost, if you were here last night, you'll remember that this card, the Angel of Jupiter, did I not bring? Oh, I did. The Angel of Jupiter showed up last night. It was mixed in with another deck. And this evening, as I was, I had already had 2 decks of cards on the desk, the Angels of Atlantis and the Archetype cards by Carolyn Miss, when I was guided to 2 other decks. Oh my gosh, what's this one called? The Visions of Spirit Oracle and the Magic of Flowers oracle. So as I was pulling those two decks out, I was rotating some of the cards, and so that they were all staggered, some up, some down, so that they're easy to grab. And there were two cards that were kind of stuck there. I didn't even know that I was moving that deck. And it was the Khalil Gibran Prophet Oracle. And you'll understand this more and how beautiful it is when I share some of the messages, just tuning in, not messages, just the intuitive feelings of what it means for us at this time with Cancer, with Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. And this card, which reduces to a number 12, which brings us the message of the Trinity within and the remembering. We're each here to remember that the light of Source has always lived within us. And it's our consciousness that we're here to awaken on a daily basis via the pathway of responsibility and discipline. Open your heart unto the body of life, death. And it's so uncomfortable when we're in the throes of the death and rebirth process, right? When we're being called to expand, and, the inner pathways say, no, 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 stay small, simmer down, stay contained. And it's the heart is like almost like a pressure cooker, if you will, for expansion. And then this card, also from the same deck, rejoice through all the seasons. And last night, the song that came through was Seasons in the Sun. I believe the artist's name was Terry Jack, and it was on the number one chart. It was number one on the charts for a long time, from, I believe, 1958 to 1974. A huge expansion of time. Huge. And this card's about eating and drinking. And I really and it's a number 9. We're in a universal 9 year, and things are really starting to pick up. And it's really starting to get uncomfortable. And I have to be honest with all of you, because that's what I like to do. This past week was intense. It was incredibly uncomfortable. And yet, sitting and sharing with you here tonight, there has been a tremendous shift. And a large part of that shift took place today. And specifically within the last 3 hours. Hey, sister, how's it going, Kiva? Were you on a hot date last night? That's where I thought maybe you were. And then I see that you commented about being in this energy that we've all been experiencing. And the number one thing, so there's been a lot of, what will I say? There's been a lot of healing. There's been a lot of releasing. There's been a lot of clearing up space, whether it's our physical vessel, the clutter, whether it's the things we're eating and drinking, what we're taking in. And at the end of the day, my week, the last week, likely would have been better with more sleep. And, there is this resistance, and yet it was out of necessity in my situation this week. Anyways, like Sunday after being on vacation not being at the job for 6 days, and then going back, there was something urgent that needed my attention at home, one of the dogs. And, I spent my Sunday night after work, playing nursemaid to the dog. And he's doing much better. He's doing much better. And it was, really an overnight transformation. And this really speaks about how powerful we are, that we can turn things around overnight. And we can do that through our connection to source that resides within the human that is here, the HUE, human, that is here for an experience of delight. And yet many are either running in fright, or sheltered in a life that feels safe and secure. It's routine, it's habits. We spoke about habits a little bit last night. So that brings me to this card, which showed up last night in the wrong deck, like completely wrong deck. And the deck it belongs to wasn't even close to the deck that it was in. And today I was guided to pull out the guidebook and read the message. And I'm guided to share that here with you tonight, because it feels we've been talking about Jupiter and Cancer for a couple weeks now, and it's a long transit. It's going to be there until June 30th of next year, 2026, the Gregorian year. So this time next year, Jupiter will be wrapping up its transit. We will be experiencing a new solstice season. And it really feels like we're going to be absolutely dazzled by our transformation. And our transformation is dependent on our ability to cultivate in our own lives the feelings of safety and security, while not sheltering ourselves away in what could be seen as like, a bomb shelter. And this is keeping us safe and secure. And that's our personal work to do, right? And it's us breaking through. Last night we were hearing the message of piercing the membrane, piercing the veil, and we are the ones here doing it. And those of you here connecting with this, if you're resonating with it, hit the thumbs up, introduce yourself, come back again soon, because you're doing very great work. And it's not a lot moving through the throat chakra, a lot. I almost feel there's, I've been really, the throat's been really highlighted. And a part of how it's been highlighted is through the silence. Because I was pretty quiet last week on this channel with the lives. I did have some pre-recorded stuff, so that was nice. And the message in that is that in the silence, we can hear, or if we stay in the silence long enough, perhaps we'll hear the call of the soul. We're feeling it. You're here. You're feeling it. Are you hearing it? We're all feeling that planet wide, we're on the verge of tremendous change. And the most beautiful, expansive change comes from releasing ourselves from the chains that we hold ourselves hostage in, the chains of the past. The chains that, when perpetuated at this time, you and I, beyond the mind, we can feel and we can see and hear the insanity of it all. Restore us to sanity. Restore us to humanity. So the message of this card, the Angel of Jupiter, is this: beloved, within you there is a magnificence, greatness, and the ability to live bolder, larger. Actually, before I share this, I should share what I was guided to, what came through connecting with. It was called the Jupiter effect. Expansive cultivation of our environments, safety, protection, grounded confidence, growth, faith, and hope, regeneration of generations, love lost and found. Cultivation supports hearts coming back online, realigning, here to thrive, grateful to be alive, beyond the survive, opening to love again. Love always wins. Eternal is your soul, our soul, the soul of the world, the soul of the universe. Nurture growth, stable, peaceful. The journey begins at the point of the unknown. Seeds sown, cultivate growth, return home to the source self. Give and receive, reciprocity, generosity. Cultivate peace and ease within the discomfort, breathing, space, wide open space. The pathway is grace. Feeling the expansion via our own personal grounding. So it feels at this time as expansive as we are, is as deep, I just heard, as deep as the scars. And yet scars, when, scars are wounds that were healed via nurturing. So there's something to that message there for us. Our cultivation is our cultivating our environments, cultivating our life via practice and daily discipline really supports our expansion. And, we're in this universal 9, which is all about completion, wrapping up cycles. As expansive as our light is, as deep as the wound that is healed. And it feels like the scar, the wound healed, is where the light shines through and supports us to be uniquely who we are, without apology, without explanation, and perhaps simply via our path of regeneration, via our walk with our very own heart, which is, the fuel of it all, which has felt it all, the heartache, the perceived mistakes. So what that brings me to, what we're feeling now is the expansion via our own personal grounding, connection beyond perceived rejections. And if we go back in our life, I suspect many of us early in our life felt rejected, most often by, a caregiver energy, or a guardian energy, a parental energy. And that's no shade to the parents or anything. That's just, that's just a fact for many. Connection beyond perceived rejection, love's protection, safe in vulnerability. And so it feels like, and I was guided to doodle this little heart with the twirly twirls. And then I was guided to remember the Angel of Jupiter Awakening card from last night. Where am I going to put this? On the floor. And that brings us to the guidebook message of the card that showed up for us last night. Perfect. Number 6 We're the ones here flipping the script. The Virgo Pisces axis. If we flip it, it's completion, wrapping up big cycles, a cycle of eons of time. I know that seems like a tall order, and yet every single one of us is here to fulfill such a mission. Not everybody will, not everyone's listening or hearing or honoring the call, and that's great. And that's why it's a tall order for those of us here, those of you here who resonate whenever that time may be, because we are timeless and eternal beings. And so those of you who are here walking this courageous walk, thank you so much for showing up here and blessing me, gracing me, shining some light in this direction. I see you, I feel you, and I love the essence that is you. So here we go. Beloved, within you, there is a magnificence, greatness, and ability to live bolder, larger, more exuberantly than you may have ever imagined. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. The angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity, lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small, yet must be freed. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile, a yes to that offer of adventure, sharing vulnerability without fear, taking a step forward into the unknown, daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, it happens through you, as you. Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You are being given an opportunity that can change your life. You are the one that can change your life. You and only you. You're being gifted an opportunity. It's up to you to choose. If you are acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, more playfulness, and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you are experiencing some havoc in your life or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation. Yes, things are changing. And yes, you are outgrowing what once was. So you will be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth. Awaken in your arms. I wait to stop time. Awaken your arms. I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room, your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. So, hey, Colleen. So, how beautiful that we received this last night as the sun was moving into Cancer, connecting there with Jupiter today. We're here to live our dreams. We have our dreams for a reason, and it is only ourselves that hold ourselves back at this point in time. And it feels like there's this huge opening, there's this huge awakening through the heart. And it feels like the mind humbling itself, if you will. Some humility goes a long way and supports our growth and supports the connections. with one another. So I'm feeling guided at this point in time. I brought it last night and didn't work with it, but we're going to do some of the solar plexus chakra singing bowl for a few rounds. So take some deep breaths, just settle in, see if there's anything here for you, and let's begin. So as as that was going, the dogs gathered just outside the door here, and it's because it just feels like frequency, and our vibe attracts our tribe. And I heard that at this time, although that was for the solar plexus chakra, it's heart mind aligning time and the soul truly coming online. And it's no magic, it's no hocus pocus. We are each connected eternally to source. We, each of us, just by our birthright, the simple fact that we are here, we are each incredibly powerful creators. We are the ones here to save ourselves from save ourselves from ourselves, perhaps. Maybe that's it. Are we here to save ourselves from ourselves? Probably. And it's not really a group effort. It begins with the solitary journey. It begins with the inner journey, the warrior of light, the peaceful warrior who's seeking more out of their very own life, who's seeking to honor and acknowledge that there's a call that only they can hear in their heart. And everybody you see is hearing a call. There's a call ringing out within each and every one of us. Are we paying attention? Some of us. And that's all, really all we're concerned about is doing what's for us to do, showing up in ways that we can support, being, support ourselves in being the seed of change that we came to be, the big, brilliant light in a room, right? That the angel of Jupiter is calling us to be, showing up in the world with a smile, you know, with a smile, and perhaps like looking into the eyes of one another. There's a quote, I'm going to butcher it. Do I have the book here? The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. I don't think I have it here. Anyways, there's a quote in there, I believe. If we could, or somebody said it, if we could see into like if we could see the souls of each other in our eyes, we would all run out and feed hungry children, right? And that's really what we're here to be and to do. And I feel all of us are the hungry child in that quote, or at this time. We are here to feed our own soul. This is how we grow. There's got to be more to life than what we've been living. And are we really in the land of the living? What in the world is going on this planet? What is going on? And, break it down. What in the world is going on in our lives, in our homes, in the job space? What is going on? What are we supporting the co-creation of? Are we supporting continued enslavement and entrapment of the consciousness of the individual, sovereign, all-knowing, creative, loving, powerful, courageous? What are we creating? What are the seeds that we're sowing? What are the seeds that we have sown? Are we having joy, having fun with the seasons in the sun? Are we, are we seeding memories? Are we seeding our legacy? What is the legacy that we're here to leave? What is the legacy that we're here to leave? What is it that you believe you're here to do? I mean, these are the questions that are constant. It's like there's got to be more to this. There is more to this. I'm sure of it. And I'm also sure that no matter how far we travel, how far we go, how far we give out our energy, give away our power, at the end of the day, in our very last hour on this planetary body, in our physical body, as a human, HUE, we will understand that we have always been the treasure that we were seeking. Within us has always been the treasure. Within us has always been the treasure of Source. And we just simply forgot that we were emanations. We gave our power away to entities and energies and the idea of a savior when, hey, I'm 55. When's the savior? Or I'm going to be 55 on my next birth to Earth day. There's no one coming to save me. There's no one coming to save me. Over and over and over again. For much of my adult life, it has been this girl who has shown up for herself and saved herself from what? The fear of perhaps being the light, the fear of perhaps showing vulnerability, showing ourselves to the world. It's quite the proposition, isn't it? And yes, it is. And we are in a position to fill the proposition. We are in a position to fulfill prophecy. We are in a position to speak prophecy to life, or to speak the words of the divine, speaking, sharing words of wisdom. And what are words of wisdom? Pearls, little pearls inside all the grit and the grind and the sand in your eye, and in your bathing suit in places it shouldn't be. It's all that stuff that has shaped us and formed us to the person we see when we look in the mirror today. And what do you see when you look in the mirror? Absolutely. I feel that's a huge component to most missions on the planet at this time. The largest component of the mission is to heal from the inside and to share stories. We are the storytellers. We are the heroes, the saviors, the medicine people in our own lives. And we're here to support one another. As Kiva's saying, to guide one another home to the heart. Here we go again. Chrysanthemum, the divine mother. To guide one another home to our heart. We don't heal anyone. Healers don't heal anyone except themselves. And then, as Kiva says, guide others, support others in that empowering journey of self discovery and rediscovery of the essence of Source. For those of us women, the divine feminine energy, and this chrysanthemum for all of us, the solar plexus, the inner fire, the calling that never goes away, no matter how far we wander, no matter how far we may feel that we've been led astray. We're always at home. We are always the home for the soul that has a calling, that came here on a mission, a spiritual mission, a purpose in service to the greatest and highest good of humanity through their very own magnetic vessel of light. And so many of us were born into this life from the womb of the mother filled with fright. Filled with fright. And where does that come from? Generations and generations. What we're seeing unfold on the planet at this time has been going on for eons of time, thousands of years, claiming that this battle is righteous. This one is righteous. It's for the people, God's people, the people of Source. From the holy times, biblical times, we are all these people here in form at this time to transform via the inner journey of reformation, and reclamation. There's all this talk about what's the word that they use? Oh, shoot. What's the word that they use? Fear. Yes. Oh, I can't even think of the word. Anyways, it's not important, they're saying. It's like, because we are all here to reform through our own journey. And this season, this transit of Jupiter in Cancer for the next year, the next 13 plus moons, it's really about coming home to the power that is you, the solar power. And, doing what you came here to do, healing yourself and then shining your light into the world. And, nature is our medicine. And there may be something here about, well, it is. I'm looking at the cards. It's all, well, they're not. This one's about scents. So working perhaps with the scent of geranium. Let me go see if I have some geranium. Give me a sec. Okay. Well. Well. Look what we have. We have some geranium. But before I found the geranium, I was almost going to give up on the geranium. Well. It's supposed to say juniper, I believe. And it says Jupiter. Oh my gosh. I wish you could smell that. Let's smell the geranium. Let's combine the two. And there's something about working with, yes, we know nature is our medicine, working with sense, working with and allowing ourselves to be intuitively guided. Oh, there's something about, as Kiva mentioned, save myself from fear. And it's our fear of being seen. Because at some point in time, in this lifetime, because let's focus on this lifetime because this is where we are, right? And then we have the dandelion. Again, it's the wishes of our heart. And the liver needs some support right now. And for some of you, if you're a drinker, this may be a message. And perhaps, you've been hearing a message to ease up and get to nature. Listen to your heart, the purity of your heart, get grounded. Um, Enjoying, I just got this great big chill right here. Enjoying the sense of life. And through just there's a whole tingling going on over here on the left side of my head. This sense of life, it takes you back to the emotional space. And it feels like the journey through scent, through the intuitively guided journey, right? That's your personal healing journey. That's your personal legacy, your personal path of mastery. And we're guided at this time to trust that we are safe and protected, to have faith that wishes and dreams do come true as long as we continue to show up. I'm hearing as long as you show up for you, as long as we show up for ourselves. Wisteria, dreamy, romantic, sensual. And isn't it interesting how scents, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. Let me know if you have in the comments. Like a scent will just take you back to a time and a space long ago. And it's often, to childhood, a time and a space. And there's a dreamy, it's still going on, whatever's going on here. It's very much, oh, you know what? What just came through. So this is on the left side of my brain. And um, it's almost like the touch from the divine. That's this shimmering feminine essence that's saying it's time. It's safe to move beyond the mind and truly into the creative heart space because you are here for joy. We are here to extract the sweetness out of life via the pathway of cultivating in our own life, in our day to day, the sweetness, doing the things that are good for us, good for the mind, body, spirit, and heart, as we go out into the world, being a good person in the world, not rushing to move through, just enjoying. It feels like I'm hearing savoring each and every moment. And, it may be hard to believe some of those moments occur in the car on the way to the job, listening to music. And some days it's silence. And often, though, it's a dance party on the way to the job, setting the vibe, supporting myself in supporting myself to go out in the world, grateful to be alive, to be a beacon of light. And we've all lived, all of us have lived this life very much within the lies that have been passed down through generations. We've forgotten the stories of delight. We've forgotten the stories of, the simple, the basics, and in our quest as a human family for advancement and acquisition of more and more things, property. I just heard slavery. And that's like, slavery, yes, of people. And yet, if we're honest people, humans, we're all kind of slaves to something, aren't we? If you're not, please do let me know. I would like, I want to catch in that energy, because at this point in time, we're all slaves to something. The paycheck, the job, the cost of living, inflation, all of it. And it's all utter nonsense. And all it takes is each of us remembering we're here to save ourselves from the nonsense, the BS, the nefarious stuff, and to get back to the more mysterious stuff, the great mystery, the spiritual stuff, the greater vision. What are we here for? Let's see what the ancestors have to say. What are we here for, men? And look what the top card is. Again, the hummingbird. We are here for freedom. Number 23, 2 live viewers, 3 thumbs up. My number for the divine masculine, rising up. It's time. It's time for the rise of the alpha. Your masculinity is not toxic. Women, yours may be. Until we come into balance, right? And this is where things were switched. And as women, women have, in a lot of ways, emasculated men. Cut them down, shut them down. I can do anything you can do, and maybe better. We're not supposed to do the same things that men do. And we're better at some other things, naturally. Biologically, genetically, just in the essence that we bring, in the essence that we live in. We all bring different things to the table. And this is really feeling like, I haven't read the card here. It's like standing. We have the power. We have the power within to free ourselves. And the power within to free ourselves is directly connected to the power of Creator, of Source, loving and kind, expressive and expansive, unique and varying, as many emanations, or as we are the tethers to Source, here to ground our 10 toesies, our 10 little piggies on the earth. There's something about that too. I just heard this little piggy went to the market. This little piggy stayed home. I don't really think I really got the market part. until I'm saying it again. And it's like, mark it, your heart, trust it. We're in this space, this Cancer season, this particular solstice really feels that we're in this space of getting comfortable as we begin to witness our growth, as we begin 50-50 there on the clock, as we begin to see our expansion. And the expansion is going to where? Joy. And yet this hummingbird here speaks about responsibility, our divine responsibility. Number 6, close to the heart. Where's that? Number 6, flipping the script through our very own heart. Focused on our goals, focused on our intentions, trusting our intuition, taking responsibility. And responsibility comes via the pathway of discipline, showing up for ourselves, getting in the kitchen when we don't want to get in the kitchen, you know? And I think a little bit of the shift I've been experiencing is some of this, not woe is me and not poor me, more like, and not even why me, more like they're saying, Lisa, why are you here? What is the purpose of the entirety of the experience thus far? And that's a big question for us to answer. And if we want freedom to reign, we have to be the ones that free ourselves from the chains that we have placed on us. And not only ourselves, but at some point in time, we have to take responsibility for, and I take responsibility for my life since 1984. 14, and perhaps not in a position to take responsibility. And yet I do, upon reflection, that is the pivotal point in my personal experience where I, began to call the shots and do things my way on my terms. And so it's up to us to free ourselves. It's up to us to take responsibility. Brother to the hawk is this guy over here. Brother to the hawk. Hawk, he seeing things from a higher perspective, scouting out situations, honoring the cyclical nature of day and night, honoring the cyclical nature of nature itself. So on the freedom card, it says, possessions are many and varied. This is how we define ourselves. Even those unattached to worldly possessions possess knowledge, attaching to ideas, experience, a name. Does a man with a feather not possess imbued spirit of the bird? Or does the bird now hold the man captive with the man's desire to obtain knowledge? In truth, they are both possessed by the whole, the spirit and the rainbow containing all of life, to me, dissolves into relationship. Dissolves into relationship. To be, and in brackets, to exist, is to be related. The true selves, one of infinity. You ask, why was I born? Oh my gosh. We've been asking that for a while. Who knew I just needed these cards? Yeah, 14 is very young. You ask, why was I born? and your life becomes a search for treasures. But the greatest freedom comes with the search for truth, the true self. To find true fulfillment and beauty, understand your attachments, own them and accept them. Be proud of your accomplishments, then release them. Freedom comes when your belongings no longer own you. That's really profound and powerful. Simplicity. Simplicity. And in order for us to be the love that we're here to experience and be, we must love ourselves enough to set ourselves free, to set ourselves free from the years of solitary confinement that we have placed ourselves in. Free birds were free to fly. Birds were meant to fly, explore the heights of the sky, as well as landing and grounding and being nurtured by Mother Earth via the seed, the worms, right? Um, Protected by the trees, building the nest where all is provided in the surroundings. And we've just moved so far away from what is natural. And as one very close to the earth, I feel it looks strange. The things I do, the way I behave, the bare feet and this kind of stuff, it appears strange to those who have yet to open the eyes. The children are always quite drawn to me. The adults, some, the courageous ones. Um, mhm. And so none of that's really our business. None of that's my business. I engage where I'm called to engage, and grateful for the opportunity to connect. And so as we breathe, as we move through this Cancer season, which is really calling us to rest so that we can integrate, and feel the expansiveness of the space that the release we have moved through has created. Is any of this making sense? And this is what we're here for. Joy, fun. I have my little hummingbird feathers here. There's 3 of them in there. 2 of them, a girlfriend gave to me. Is there 3 of them in there? No, there's 2 of them. No, there's 3. I think one's stuck to the glass now. Yeah, one's stuck to the glass. Wow. And remember, we were saying earlier, the wounds, the scars within, the wounds that have healed. You know what I'm seeing right now? What was that called? Like Mod Podge? Or even putting the feather or the leaves under the paper and with the crayons. There's this real call to get back to the childlike energy. Yeah, 3 of them. And 2, so my girlfriend gifted me 2 in this jar. And after Frank passed, it was probably, was it last year or the year before? So it was either year 4 or 5 at the other location where we were living. I was sitting out back and a bee landed on me. A bee landed on my knee, a great big bee. And I was like, oh, hi, and just had this little interaction. And then it flew away and there was a hummingbird feather on my knee, on my leg. Amazing. Like a bee delivering a hummingbird feather, reminding, and the 3 in the jar is a reminder that we're the ones here that balance the trinity of creation through the masculine and feminine polarities within our experience. Men aren't women, women aren't men. We each have aspects of the feminine and masculine. Left brain, right side of the body, right brain, left side of the body. Left brain, right side of the body, masculine. Right brain, left side of the body, feminine. So we're here to balance those polarities, and we do that through the acknowledgement. It's coming back to that indigenous thing they're doing here in Canada. What do they call it? Reclamation. It's coming back to that, but it's about us. We are all children of these lands. And what they've done to all kinds of children, all kinds of races and nations throughout eons of time is basically erased through, you know, insanity, through absolute lack of humanity. And never once was it done for a loving creator, a loving source, and we have the responsibility to clear that. The message on this card is hummingbirds move with grace and focus direction. So should we all in matters of the heart. Your ability to respond has a sense of harmony. You have music like the bamboo flute with the winds of heavens blowing through it. You carry sacred feathers and send messages to the Great Spirit with your flight. From the divine perspective, you can see love. When another invites you in, you enter with openness and compassion. You feel their truth, be it music or ideas. You take responsibility for responding in kind. Are you creating barriers or can you respond? True intimacy comes from equal willingness to give and receive. That was a part of the Jupiter effect message, right? You cannot be pulled into something if you are not giving there already. No, you cannot be pulled into something if you are not going there already. And so this is about each of us taking responsibility for our own awakening, for our own our own awakening and our own remembering of who we are, our own realigning our heart to source, and to taking that courageous journey of healing, of some days not feeling okay, and in honoring the whatever, honoring the present moment, because it's always in the present where we have a choice to move into grace, to breathe into the space in which our soul exists and seeks to live and calls out to us. Or we can choose to continue to do what we've always done. And if you're going to do what you've always done, don't expect anything new. Right? It's all up to you. It's all up to us. We're here to fill our own cup. We are the ones here to awaken through our walk with our heart, through the seasons and cycles of life. And, there's a reason that Seasons in the Sun. Listen to the words of that song. Right? Listen to the words of that song. Love lives on. And we're here at this time in service to the eternal love that currently lives as the essence of source that is you and I, living and breathing. And we are also, through our tether to source, creation, the universe, the cosmos, all of it, we are here to have a human experience, sensual, um, passionate, compassionate, uh, fun loving, carefree. Let's see collectively what archetypal energy wants to come through, and this is for all of us, like to see maybe what it is we're here, what we are clearing up and balancing at this time. So let's see for those who are connecting with this message live and those who will join us later, what are we balancing at this time? Well, we're the healers. Told you so. We're the healers. And, us healers have big shadows as well. As expansive as the frequency of light we are here to hold via, our spine. Our spine is our tethered lifeline here. And our spine and the vertebrae are perhaps the ladder, or the walk down and then up the ladder, down and up the ladder to merge in the heart, Jacob's ladder of light and love. We are the oil in the lamp of God, of creation, of source. We are the star in the hermit's lantern. This is amazing. And as deep, as wide and expansive as our light goes, as deep as our roots. And those of you who are here as healers, I mean, we've have a lot, like we've cleared through a lot. And it doesn't feel like, it feels like the biggest component of our journey at this time is to be the living, breathing embodiment of all that we know, of what the heart knows, of our mission. And that requires integration. That requires a time of rest. The heart knows best. So it says here, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Hey, Rena. Welcome, sis. And what is our hang up with allowing the world to see our light, allowing ourselves to show up as the healer in our own lives? Let's see. Taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Now, immediately I'm going to say, I don't really feel that those connected here are taking advantage of those who seek help. Perhaps you may have felt taken advantage of via the lack of reciprocity, the give and receive. We could be prone to not taking care of ourselves, right? Not showing up for ourselves. We're doing better with this, though. They're saying the bottom card here. Angel. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. This is what many of you have been doing. And you still show up as the healer in your life. I could cry. Beautiful reflections. Mirror, mirror. I see you. I feel you. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up. Honest to goodness. The shadow attributes. Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Again, I feel like those of you here steer clear of this, and perhaps you have felt isolated and alone in your journey because you have experienced this. And perhaps this is the breakthrough we are the same bottom card. I was just going to say, perhaps this is what has been needed in order to step through and break free into your role as leader, mentor, guide, companion, friend, angel, healer, all of it. Well, you know what? That's the ticket, Rena. I'm not sure how long you've been here, but that's been the message. The rest, the rest. And so let's see what the mentor, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. And I feel again, it's the healer heals themselves to simply share and then guide others to do the same, because we're all healers. And the shadow, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction. And again, that doesn't feel like those of you here that are resonating with this message. We may have encountered that. Remember our friend, what was his name? Dr. Alvis, that showed up a month or so ago? Dr. Alvis, talking about all kinds of fool-la-la, right? Fool-la-la, nonsense. And, you know, perhaps a little bit in it, there was some truth, and yet he was trying to scam all of us. Well, I guess me in particular, um, you know, scam all of us into feeling like we needed to pay him money to undo something that had been done to us, when he didn't realize who he was dealing with. The peaceful warriors of the heart, the rainbow warriors who are growing up through the trenches of it all. Right? The angels are always, you know, the angels, this angel showed up last night, the angel of Jupiter. And I have this essential oil. It can't be truly Jupiter essential oil, pure oil, all natural, Jupiter. I think it's juniper. It's a spelling. Either way, we opened it up here today. I want to show you something that I gifted myself today. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. Like I was drawn to it. It was like my hand went right to it, feeling the energy from it. And it really wasn't in my budget. And yet I knew it needed to come home with me. And this is it. How beautiful. Isn't she gorgeous? So it's ruby fuchsite. And that was one of the things I was guided to. I've opened it up here, and we're going to see the spiritual meanings: emotional healing, heart chakra balance, spiritual growth, compassion, self-awareness, courage, vitality, and renewal. So it's powerfully connected to the heart chakra, enhancing emotional healing, compassion, and the understanding of love. Stimulates the third eye, aiding in enhancing intuition and psychic awareness. And it's associated with the sign of Aquarius, and it's associated with earth and fire. So vibrates at a 4 and a 9. Angels, 4, 9, completion, hermit energy, grounding properties, really inspiring our spiritual journey of awakening and enlightenment. That's the top I'm wearing. That's the top I'm wearing. It felt like it was made for me. And the woman, the creator. So I went to an Indigenous event today, the Métis of Ontario, I guess. Um, my father, my family is Métis. We don't know much, like, there's not a lot of talk about the family history. Anyways, my father has the card to say that he's Métis. And so I guess the Métis are really known for their beadwork, amazing beadwork. And as soon as I saw this, I knew it was almost like it was created for me. And I also bought a pair of earrings from the same artist, the same creator. I'll wear those. I'll show you those at another time. They're beautiful. And I actually bought the earrings. I came home. So this is how it went. I went to this event after feeling low kind of all day, not really sure if I was going to go. I did go to I took the dogs out for a walk. I wasn't feeling low. I just really wasn't feeling, um, thank you very much. I just really wasn't feeling the shift yet. And eventually I had a phone call with my sister, and that shifted things. And then I got ready and I went to this event, and I got there and looked around at all the artisans and sat and listened to a story being told. And went this one booth, these earrings just kept calling to me. They were so beautiful. And I kept going back to a couple pair of earrings that had hummingbirds on them. And I'm sure I will own a pair of those one day. Um, but I was drawn to these other earrings. And so I came home, I e-transferred because I don't do that kind of stuff on my phone. And I didn't have cash on me. So I e-transferred her money and then drove back and picked up the earrings. This piece was still calling to me. And it really, like I said, I didn't feel like it was in the budget, a tank of gas or this. And when I got back there and I put the earrings in to show her how they looked, and she told me what a delightful time she had making these earrings. They were a special pair. And I went back to this, I put my hand on it and I'm like, this is mine. And she says, it is. How lovely. And she lowered the price. She took some money off of the price of it. And I said, well, I'm not going to go home and come back. So maybe I can meet up with you. She lives close to where my JOB is, like very close. And she said, you know what? In good faith, why don't you take it home and just send me the e-transfer when you get home? And I just was so filled with gratitude and just that connection, that knowing that in good faith she was going to receive the exchange and compensation for this. And I felt delighted that she felt safe enough to let me leave this event with this beauty that no doubt was meant to be mine. Um, yeah, so that's my little story. And that's really what I was feeling when I connected to it. I was just feeling a very grounded um, earth energy, Mother Earth, the healer, the nurturer, perhaps an earth angel, who knows, the mentor, the teacher, the guide, the friend, you know. And if you have felt on your journey, and in recent days, if you have had to release some connections, so if you've had to create some boundaries, know that all that you do in service to the experience of more peace within you, the ability to hold more joy and experience more joy. Maybe not hold joy, because joy is meant to be expressed. Joy is our creation, what we do with things. I think I've shown you this picture before, but Frank's wanting to be spotlight, called out here. But look at this beautiful picture Frank got on his, oh my goodness, on his cell phone of this hummingbird going in for the fuchsia. Oh my gosh. That is so amazing. And so I feel like really a big message is Spirit's always saying, like, we're always here. The unseen is always near. And they're always asking, do you see? Do you see? What magic do you see when you look around thee? What are the feelings that are coming up to be resolved? What are the feelings that would like to be dissolved so that more joy can be experienced through you and your connection to others, through you and your 10 toes, 10 little piggies on the earth, 10 little toes of your feet kissing Mother Earth, the child twirling and swirling in delight. These archetypes are powerful. All of you, 1 2 1 2 1. All of you here are the reset. And the 1 2 1 2 1 equals 9, and the 2s equal 6. It's like powerfully divine. You are so powerful beyond your mind. And not to say that the mind is not powerful, because it really is. And it's the power of the mind that in many cases, for many of us, have prevented us from truly living the life we were born to live. Next week. The life we were born to live. Numerology. Has anyone read the book of the way of the Peaceful Warrior? There's The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior, and there's one more. I wonder if it's in here. Has anyone read this? I had the honor and privilege of meeting Dan Millman at the Learning Annex in Toronto back in 1995, 96, 30 years ago. I was just going to see if it showed other books that he has written here. Books by Dan Millman. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior. Do I have either of those here? Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior. So you have to read The Way of the Peaceful Warrior first and then go to this one if you haven't read it. And that's what I feel. I feel we're being guided to go back. Like I read The Alchemist, which I read many, many years ago. And I've read it more than once, but I was guided to read it again. I think I pulled it out here on the live last week or the week before. And I think it was last week. And I've read it. I finished it today. I sat, and it was 3 sittings. And you know what? It's back to the basics. The treasure has always been within. And we have been the resistance in skin. The ego has been what the ego has supported our resistance, right? Because it says, no, you don't want to do that. That's the fear, and then there's the ego in the other expression, like, hey, look at me, greatest thing since sliced bread, and it's about back to the beginning of this message. There was the message of humility, bowing our very own head to our heart, getting out of our head so we can hear our heart. Because the voices in the head are a lot louder than the whispers of spirit from within. So he also, that's the other book. Yeah. So the guidebooks are The Laws of Spirit, No Ordinary Moments. That's a good book. I don't think I have it here. And The Life You Were Born to Live. I'm holding that one in my hands. And The Inner Athlete. So he was a gymnast. Dan Millman was a gymnast. He is a little guy. Adorable. And then for children, he wrote some books. So those of you who have children, maybe, even today, sitting at the story time at that event, the Métis event, the celebration, it, you know, they were reading storybooks, like children's books. And I was sitting there thoroughly enjoying the children's books and the painting, like the pictures, the visual that went along with it. And I even mentioned to someone there, I miss those days of reading storybooks to my son. One day, maybe we'll read this one together. Oh, not that one. Oh my goodness. This one. This is a good one. The Luminous Mountain. And in this story, we have the, look what I just opened the page right to. The hummingbird. So, there's something about like going back to basics and perhaps revisiting a story that we haven't read in a long time, but one that we've read many times before. We are here to rewrite, not to rewrite history. That's what these conquerors do, right? These ones that fund these fights and stuff like that, where a lot of innocent life is just, what's the point? What is the point? Where is the sacredness? What is holy in that? Off on a tangent. I tend to do that from time to time. And is it really a tangent, or is it really the passion that comes from the inside? We're not here. We're here for so much more than this. And all of you here have a role to fulfill. And here's just a snapshot of what your role is. And it begins with the healer healing themselves, working with the angels, and perhaps recognizing that they are an earth angel. Some of us are. Angels walk among us. And there's also the tricksters, right? Because everything that's light has an opposing energy. Everything that's positive has an opposing energy. And we are the receiver, transmitter, conductor, transformer, reformer, conduit of all of it. And we have to choose to quit with the BS, the bullshit of the mind that says, no, stay small. Don't go out there and show the world who you are. Yes, we want to see who you are. And those who really are here to make an impact, don't go out there yelling and kicking and screaming and looking for controversy. Prince. Those of you who know that song. That was a steamy song, Controversy. So let's connect with the angels of Atlantis. Because we're all deeply connected. We're all, again, the unseen is very close. God, creator, source, lives and breathes as us. What does that tell you about us? There is no need for middleman. We are here to link arms and to bring the ego down to the ground again. Back to the basics, the alpha on the rise. Right before our very eyes. When Rex and I were out for a walk, we got this card last night, and this just flipped out. A blessing, a benediction, a blessing has been spoken upon our lives. And that's not to be taken from us at this time. We're the ones here to rise. We are the ones here to save ourselves. We are the ones here to shine. Sandalphon, planetary cycles. Yeah. And we're in this big the Jupiter effect, right? The Jupiter effect. The sun has now moved into Cancer with Jupiter and Mercury hanging out there. Jupiter, expansive, divine truth, intuitive. the seeker who seeks the treasure knows the treasures can only be found within. Raziel, dreams. This came out last night too. And so the angels of Atlantis there's 12 archangels. And, when we think it, perhaps there's a 13th there. What is it that you hope for? What is it that you're here for? Your angels are near for all of it. And Sandalphon and Metatron, apparently, Archangel Sandalphon and Metatron were mortal men who ascended to the title of Archangel. So there's something about that. Oh, you know what I'm feeling? With these planetary cycles, and I just keep seeing this star. And it's like we're the ones here to find our own North Star, our true north. It's our heart, the compass that is our heart space. I know there's a compass on this desk somewhere, but there's a lot of cups and jars. The compass that is our heart space. And we are here wrapping up an ancient cycle. Like there's been so many movements of the planet, so many retrogrades of the planets, and some never seen before in our lifetime, any of us alive at this time. And there was that Jupiter, and was it a Jupiter-Venus conjunct or with the moon? It was right around the solstice a couple years ago, 2020, was it? Was it 2020? Maybe. But eons of time, the solar fire, the heart's desire coming back online via the vessel, the human that takes action, that moves towards soul satisfaction. And soul satisfaction is never at the expense of another. Soul satisfaction doesn't come from harming wounds to one another. Because all, believe it or not, like it or not, are sisters and brothers. Humans, HUE, we're a family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me, right? We're all family. Love me or hate me, I'm your sister, and we do have some family members. I mean, look at the state of the family here on planet Earth. So much dysfunction, so much trauma, so much alienation, so much conflict and agitation and resentment and all kinds of stuff in our families. I'm sure, we can see it in our families. And yet, today, actually 19 years ago today, a beloved member of our family, I believe I spoke about him here, my Uncle Reg, the late great. Yeah. 19 years ago today, he made his transition. I just realized that Frank made his transition on the winter solstice. And my dear Uncle Reg, two of the finest men I have ever been blessed to be loved by in this lifetime. I haven't forgotten my grandfather, Bambi. They both passed on a solstice, one on the winter and one on the summer. I literally just made that connection. Wow. Wowzers. So, thank you, Kiva. Thank you. I love the necklace and I love the little top too. I'm busting all the, when I moved, I had so many, I had packed up the season before. So there was a whole last summer where I didn't even have I forgot, like I had so many clothes until I got here. They were all in like garbage bags and stuff, a lot of them. the summer stuff that I had packed away the summer before because I had intended on moving. And so, yeah, this year I'm bringing out all my summer clothes. It feels like, new closets, and whatever I don't wear, we can say so long to those. Um, Thank you. Thank you. So, Rena, eating dinner. What was for dinner? I made some Marry Me chicken. Do any of you know Marry Me chicken? Oh my gosh. I like to do it in the crock pot because honestly, I'm waiting for someone to come into my world that wants to cook for me. Who wants to do it? Waiting for it, putting that out there, looking for someone that wants to come in and share space in the kitchen with me, co-creating delicious and nutritious foods. And so today I made some Marry Me chicken, delicious. And you can eat it with rice, you can eat it with pasta. Um, and I also made some saltfish balls. You can make cakes or balls. And then I like to eat those with a big green salad. Yeah, just easy. But it's food I like. I find my taste has been changing quite a bit. And now I'm hopeful, now that we're into the summer, more local produce and stuff around. So eating more close to the earth. Yeah, is anyone else? Right? The beads. I know. They're so beautiful. So beautiful. And honestly, she didn't have to take any money off of it. I was grateful she did. She didn't really have to because it was worth what she was asking for, in my opinion. And like I said, I said to her, I will be back. I really love the energy of her creations. And sometimes at these events, it doesn't feel like people are really the creators. And this stuff definitely did. Yeah, so does anyone else have anything they want to share? Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to 11:16. Wow, where did the time go? Where did the time go? I feel like I'm gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up. Tomorrow's Monday in my world. Back to work, back to the job tomorrow. Um, and I look forward to connecting with you. I expect and suspect there will be more consistency this week with the live connections. I just, those who know me and who have worked with me throughout the years know if I'm not feeling great, I don't really I don't connect because it lacks integrity, especially when, delivering messages. Last night I showed up here not feeling 100% and was transparent and honest about that. And I'm so, hey, Brad, thank you. You also have a great night. Um, and I'm glad I showed up today. I'm glad I showed up for myself today so that I could come here and share with all of you and let you know that your guides, your source that resides within you is so grateful that you showed up for yourself today as well. And it is encouraging you to continue to show up for yourself in a myriad of ways and stop and savor the scents. Oh my gosh, I really like this Jupiter. I don't think juniper smells like that. Maybe Jupiter smells like that. Regardless, I'm working with this for the next year. I'm going to make myself a roller. Oh my gosh, I'm going to bathe in this stuff. But working with scents really to help us remember is what I just heard. And geranium. They both feel very grounding. Like this one's a little more heady, more like the neroli. Let's get the neroli in on. No, the geranium's more heady than the neroli. I don't know. I don't know. Too many scents now. Yeah. All right, gang. Gang. All right, you angels, you healers, you teachers, you guides, thank you so much for showing up and enriching my life. I see you, I feel you, I love you, I absolutely adore you. If you're new here, please do consider hitting that subscribe button if you've made it to this point in the video. For all of you, Colleen, Brad, Kiva, Rena, thank you so much for showing up. Your love supports the overflowing of my cup. Until next time, ladies and gents, take good care of yourself and continue to polish the shine. You're worth your time.